ones that return their records, over 60,000 people are documented. Overwhelming majority of them are black. And a federal lawsuit one time found out that under federal programs, in addition to the state programs, at least another 150,000.
And I think that's a real way to bridge the gap between people who come in to see the movie and say, well, I'm pro-abortion. I do not think the baby deserves human rights. But surely you can't be for forced sterilization. How can you reconcile that?
But here's the thing. Yeah, that's right. But here's the thing that, and I've heard this now, because I've gotten all these same calls, and I have not gotten one negative call. We've gotten tons of emails. Oh, yeah, we'll get them.
Planned Parenthood gets that email out this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But we've gotten nothing but the kind of stuff that you're talking about. And people are emotionally, they're not just saying, hey, that was interesting.
Right.
They're saying, I'm going to do something. I'm not.
They're emotionally connected to this.
But one of the things that we're hearing is a point that we made in the documentary. I think you made it, and someone else did as well. You can't have legalized abortion and not have these things. Mm-hmm. If you're going to accept legalized abortion, then you just have to take this stuff with it.
Slope, that everything else follows along.
You can't. Yeah, you can't stop it. And it's kind of like this deal of saying we're going to outlaw sex selection abortion. You can't outlaw sex selection abortion because then the woman that wants a sex selection abortion will just say, oh, I just don't want to be pregnant anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you can't outlaw sex selection abortion.
And Mark, what was even better is Friday, they decided to show us noon showing.
Yeah.
And there was 19 staff people from the Congressional Black Caucus office who stayed to watch the entire thing.
Wow.
When the thing started, people took their lunch break and came in and stayed as long as they could. Over 60-some people, about 69 people came in to watch it, and they were packed in a room that could only hold 50.
And almost 20 of them were members of the Black Caucus, or from those.
Yeah, well, everybody, most of them was from the Black Caucus. You know, but they just took their lunch break.
Democrats, for the most part.
And the 19 that stayed, when the thing was over, Alveda said, at the end of the thing, they not only clapped, and some was in tears, some hugged her, and they said, we are going to help.
Wow.
What's this email you speak of with Planned Parenthood? Are they going to send something else?
Oh, yeah, national
you can
emails.
Predict that.
I mean, after you had this on Capitol Hill and we set up the Facebook and Twitter account for it today, the pro-aborts are going to know about it.
Oh, sure.
And, and they're going to be ordering copies, and they're going to be sending out, and they'll be sending their troops out against it, and just coming out with the standard facts.
That just gets us more press.
Right. Yeah, it just gets you more.
They're gonna lose some folks.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I need 500 copies because I got to send one to every single campus because we're going to be able to get this out to not only our pro-life college students, but the way we can market it with the appeal coming from this is something that's going on in the Black community. We're going to be able to get huge sellout crowds.
Well, listen, we have a young lady that's going to join us here for just a couple of minutes. She's a friend of one of the people that's actually in the DVD, and we'd sent one to her name's Connie Eller, who's in the DVD, and her friend Zena Hackworth, she showed it to her. And Zena, I think, called you and had some comments about it. And Zena, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you for hanging with us this morning. I know we just called you this morning, so you're here on short notice.
Well, thank you for having me.
Carol showed you Connie Eller showed you the MAFA 21. Kind of give us your off-the-cuff opinion, because you didn't really know anything about it, and we're just kind of watching your friend there. Tell us what you thought.
Well, when I first looked at it, I was well, I've only seen it once, but I was absolutely shocked, surprised. I was dumbfounded. I just had no idea what to say. It was a very sobering documentary, very sobering. And I'm one of those, I thought I knew about as much as I could know about the abortion industry and where it came from, but I learned that I did not. Wow. I did not know. So many things I did not know.
And you've been speaking on these things as I understand it.
Yes, I have. I speak to women and their teenage daughters. And I've been doing this probably about 3.5 years now. Excuse me. And I was mistakenly thinking that this all started with Margaret Sanger. And I didn't realize that it did not start with her. She was just, part of the catalyst. But I did not realize it did not begin with her.
Now, is most of your audience is African American?
Yes, women and their daughters, yes.
Right. Wow.
Yes. We do have a few others that come in as well, some non-blacks that come in as well, but that's our basic audience, yes.
We should tell her the name of her organization. And
yes, your organization is thisracewillselfdestruct.org?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
This race will self-destruct, yes.
We'll put that up on the screen so people can go.
Zena, what do you think the impact on this video is going to be? I mean, in your community and the people that you know, what do you think the overall impact is going to be?
Well, I'm thinking that it scares me a little bit because this has been in place for such a long time. This documentary is so well done that it will, the way I've told people, it will just blow you away when you actually see it. I think it will change the hearts and minds of even people who are just so pro-abortion. But what scares me is that the other side is going to try something even more drastic at some point in order to counter this information.
But we can't operate from fear.
Right. No, well, it's not really a fear. I'm just,
right.
I say that in terms of that at some point, because they don't want us here in the black community. They don't want us here. So, and I didn't realize to what extent until I actually saw this video, this documentary. And it makes me wonder, it's definitely going to change outside of God himself. This is the only thing that I see that will change the face of abortion in this country.
Wow.
What part was the most disturbing part for you when you watched it, Zena?
There was a couple of things. One was the Supreme Court Justice, Justice Holmes. And I think what scares me so much about that is that right now we have probably another Holmes getting ready to be appointed to the Supreme Court in Sotomayor. But the other thing that really disturbed me the most is the sterilization, that they sterilized so many children, that our children were sterilized, and the families were threatened because they didn't want us around. So they say, if you have any more children, if you aren't sterilized, then we're going to take this benefit away from you. We're going to take that away from you. Right. So, you have parents and grandparents saying, well, what do we do? What do we do? And so the slavery hadn't even ended.
Zena, did you pick up on the fact, when you're thinking about sterilization, did you pick up on the fact that when and by the way, and we document in there that Planned Parenthood was closely involved with the sterilization movement.
Right.
Did you pick up on the fact, though, that one of the most amazing, quote-unquote, coincidences, which is not a coincidence, is that when the pro-sterilization people figured out that they were not going to be able to do this much longer because the federal courts were starting to rule that these eugenics boards and these sterilization boards that were in 31 states were going to be unconstitutional, it was not until then that you started having these same people who had always been opposed to abortion suddenly say, well, we've got to legalize abortion in this country. Right. Did you pick up on how subtle that was, but how dramatic that was?
Right. I did pick up on that, and it also, when I look back at the Roe v. Wade and such, I look and I see that was basically based on faulty testimony, based on a lie.
Right.
And then I said, wow, they actually, I think I realized that they used Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton, just as an excuse.
Right.
And these women were used just as pawns for a bigger scheme that they probably didn't even know about.
Absolutely.
So most definitely, I did pick up on that. Yes, most definitely.
Well, Zena, I thank you for being with us early this morning. I know it was a short notice deal for you to come on, but Johnny told me about it as we were driving here this morning, so I said, well, let's see if we can get her on the show. So thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I do appreciate it.
One more question. Now that she's seen it, what does she plan to do?
Well, I imagine that's a long...
Okay.
What do I plan to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to show it to my pastor. I'm going to show it to every friend that I have. I'm going to start showing, even though it's long, the workshops I do are now going to be longer because we are going to make sure that everyone sees this video and has the information to order the video as well. Everyone needs, I believe everyone in the black community has to see this documentary. I don't care where they stand on the issue. Everyone in the black community has to see this documentary.
Well, thank you, Zena, very much for the help that you're giving us.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for all you do.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, Mark, the most impressive part with me is she's like most of us. We actually think we knew it until we saw that.
Right. Yeah. It's going to change things. I know we don't want to run the risk of overselling it, but just the reaction we've gotten so far.
Right. No, it is a game changer, and what's great about it, it's bringing people in to the pro-life movement or the pro-life position. How's that? Rather than the movement. that would never have been here before.
That's the point.
And it's like she said, it's scaring her, and it's scaring a lot of people into action.
And that's important. Pro-life position, not necessarily pro-life movement.
Right.
Yes.
Right,
And
exactly.
I want to say thank you, Mark, because y'all, you put out a truth, and truth make people free. What a justice video to me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, because of all the people that are helping the black race.
Thank you. Well, Johnny, I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me. Other things are happening besides my Alpha 21, of course, in the last month. Probably the biggest thing is George Tiller being shot and killed up in your neck of the woods. And, of course, I talked to you several times the day that happened, and you were very distressed, and as obviously you would be. And we all, you know, saw what the ramifications for this were for the pro-life movement. And a lot of that's come true, obviously. And I just want people to kind of get your thoughts about, well, I mean, that day was pretty stressful for you. I talked to you several times. One time I was at the Cats game, that Fort Worth Cats baseball game, and you called me.
Well, you know, and people understand this because many of your viewers and our supporters have felt the same way. This is a man that I've personally prayed for by name every day for over 8 years. Yeah. I mean, my children around the dinner table will lock hands and pray for the salvation of Mr. Tiller. So, I mean, it's a household name. And the thing that makes it particularly disturbing is we were just 2 months away from getting Mr. Tiller's medical license revoked. Right. 2 of his key staffers told us they were quitting. His large political action committee, the one that's the largest political action committee in the state, was shutting down, and the director had resigned. We believe that within just a couple of months, you know, he was negotiating some sort of resignation from the medical board, and it would have accomplished the very same goal.
No, it would have accomplished a better goal. Because he'd have still been alive, and maybe he wouldn't be in hell right now, and we can't take pride in the fact that a human being, as monstrous a human being as he was, we must not take pride in the fact that barring some last-second, you know, repentance conversion, that this man is in hell. We can't take pride in that. We can't take joy in that.
No, and you know what? It's not justice. Vigilantism can never be tolerated. The ethics, the foundation of the pro-life movement, and I wrote this in the USA Today article, is from the moment of conception till natural death, human life is honored. Human life has dignity and